Welcome to another part of the YouTube series. In this part, I am going to recreate the YouTube player using Redux. I recently did it using Flux, which is a state management library, but Redux is more popular and is still in use in almost all enterprise level projects. So let's start it. Get started. First, what I will do, I will go to my old project, YouTube player project, and let me clone it because I'm going to change that only. I'm going to git clone it, then going there, then let me do npm install, because when you clone something from GitHub, it doesn't install everything and node modules because they are not going into GitHub directory, so we have to install it. So I am npm installing it, let it get installed. Now we need to install some more dependencies for the Redux project, and it will be, yeah, my terminal is intelligent enough to give it. I am using fish terminal, by the way, which is intelligent enough to save your old commands. So npm install, I am doing for React Redux and Redux Thunk. So let me npm install them. So it is done. Let me open my code editor. Let me also do a npm start so that our old project is started and we can start from there. So it is getting started, and as always it has gone to Chrome, which I don't want it to go. So okay, let me open it in my Firefox also. Oh, it is straight away giving me error. Oh, I got it. Why it gave me error? Because I don't have the API keys in the .env. Let me stop this video and I will start it. The API key in the .env file, and now it is working properly. So let's change it to a Redux project. So for Redux project, we have installed everything now, which is required in Redux. So first let's go to our index.js file, and we have to wrap everything. Let me get rid of this now. Service worker, we don't need. Service worker, we don't need. We will import store also, which are going to code next dot store, then import provider from React Redux, the library which we have installed. Let me change this bit. Okay, so to use Redux, we have to wrap the app in a provider which we have just imported. So let me wrap it provider. This app will come here, and let me do this like this, and this in this provider we will be passing the store. See, in Redux there is a lot of boilerplate code which we have to do before even starting to code. So this is part of that boilerplate code. So I did this. Now inside the src, let's create a store folder, and inside the store index.js. See, to give a file name index.js, the benefit is that we can directly do a dot store. We don't have to give the file name. So if in every folder we just give the folder name, it will come to it and run this. So here we will have to import create store apply middleware from Redux, import thunk from Redux, thunk import root. See, this root reducer also we have to import. We will be creating it a bit late, but let's import it anyway. And to tell you about thunk is a middleware used with Redux, which is very necessary when we do API call, because API call are asynchronous and it takes time. So what thunk that is, it sort of stops the process for that time and allow us to get the data back. So if we use pure React, it generally fails and we have to use something like loading or something like that. But with this we don't have to use it. It gets the whole result, then only pass it to the reducer. We'll soon see it in work action, but mostly it's a boilerplate code only, this thunk, but this is what it does. So let's create the store with the create store. Root reducer we have to pass, and then the apply middleware, and inside this thunk. There are some other middlewares also. Thunk is the most popular one. Export default store. So this is done. This is done. Now we have, let's update our app.js. And let me do one thing, let me make it a bit big. I forgot to do that in the beginning. So we will be moving out this API logic, API key logic, and calling from here, same like we did it in Flux. So let me just do it right now. We are going to need it soon, and we are not going to use this also here, and search bar also not here, because we are going to use them but later on. Just now I will show you for video list item. Here again we are not going to use the video item, we're directly going to write all the logic in the video list item. So everything else is okay. We don't need any state here, and this, let it go to this dot video search only. I don't want this. I don't want this whole logic. Let me remove this also, and search term also I don't need here. So what I need here, this is another Redux thing, this dot props dot init, and this function will be called, and we don't need all these things, we don't need, we only need video list item. We're just going to use this here, and now we are going to have a Redux concept. Right? For that, let me first import two things. One is the import connect from React Redux. Second is import star as YT search action. We are soon going to create an action creator from dot actions YT search action. So whatever component uses Redux have to wrap that component using the connect from a library React Redux. So connect app, this is a higher order function, map dispatch to props. See, in this is one way of using Redux. We can use it in a lot of ways, but the broad way is that when we send some action creator, we dispatch it through a function known as map dispatch to props. So const the same thing, map dispatch to props, it will be dispatch to be init. This is the same init which we are called here, so it will come here, and when it dispatches it, it goes to the action creator, dispatch again. Now this by this search action dot, this function we are soon going to create, get search result, and we are passing React tutorials in it. So this completes our app.js. Now what we have to do, we have to create an action creator. So what action creator does is, whatever from the component we're dispatching something, it will catch that thing. So this is one of the prime concept of Redux. We will soon come into the next concept, which is reducer, but let first create this action creator. So this action creator, let me take this name, will again be there in the source directory, and it will be known as actions. Inside this a file will be there, YT search action.js. So here let first import something yt search. This is actually a variable which we are soon going to define in another file known as types. This is again a thing which we generally do in Redux programming. We create constants file, so we are going to create it, then all the API call will be done from an action creator only. So earlier we were having all this feature in the app.js. Now we're going to have it here. Import yt from YouTube API search. Then let me copy it from here. We need this. Now let me make that function export const, and that the function is this function yt search action dot get search result. Export const get search result equal to, we are passing a term, let me say it as a search term. It's again an arrow, dispatch, then we have to return it because it's a dispatch. So we are going to use this yt search same way which we are always using it. Key is API key, this thing, term is search term, this thing, then we will let the data back, and let dispatch it. So as in Flux also, this object which you dispatch, it will have a type and a payload. So this type will be this, and payload will be data. Now let me quickly create this types before I forgot it, because see it has been used here. I mean, inside this action only we'll have types.js, and here export const, let me grab the name, equal to string. So only to get this we had created this file, and this is our action creator completed. Now we will do another important part of this Redux logic, and which is known as reducer. So what this reducer does, it does two things. So the first thing is that whatever the action creator sends, this reducer will catch it. So in reducer there is a concept of root reducer, because we can have multiple reducers. So let me create a index.js file here also in reducer. So the reducer was been called from the store also. So let me go to the reducer, close it. Yeah, I'm in reducer. Import combine reducers from Redux. Import YT reducer from this file we are soon going to create. YT search reducer, then const root reducer equal to this combined reducer, and we're passing the object as YT reducer, and then it will be called export default this root reducer. Now let us copy this, let's move here, and inside this reducer only we'll have this YT search reducer.js file. Then here again we need those types, so import star as types from dot dot actions types. Now in reducer we have a initial state. We can have many things inside it, and we are going to have another thing inside it, but right now let us have a YT search state which will be an array. So initial state is an object, inside it which we have an array YT search state, then it will be const this YT reducer equal to, it is a function in which state equal to initial state. We are using the concept of default parameter of ES6, in which if you don't pass anything, this initial state will be taken action, and this function will first contain a new state, a variable new state, then switch case it will contain. In that switch case, action dot type, see this thing action dot type, when we are sending it, this gets sent to the reducer only, so we are getting this action dot type fetch YT sir, and we'll also get the payload. So the Redux thing which I was talking about, this is between this action creator and the reducer, so it sort of holds the data, and then only when the data comes, then only it passes to the reducer, or else in React everything happens very fast, so the program runs, but it passes to the reducer only when it gets the data. So let us move back there, then a case will be there. This is how we do it. So we can have multiple action creator, so we are going through it, which is switch statement, then types, which we have done, types dot, in our types there is a fetch YT search, fetch YT search is there, that can be the switch case, new state equal to dot 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 state. We are using this object, this spread operator. YT search is the old state, and the YT search action dot payload. So what we are doing, whatever we are getting in the state, the oldest state we are getting, and whatever we are getting in the action dot payload, we are setting it to bytes. So action dot payload is means this data what we are getting, we are setting it here, and we are making it equal to new state, and then we break it, and every switch statement should have a default is new state equal to state if nothing comes. So after that, return the new state. Export default YT reducer. So our reducer is complete. So what we will do, we will now come to the video list item. This one we will come. So what will happen, this is the one where we are going to show it, but let me first change it from a functional component to a class based component. Before that, I want connect again, because this we are going to use the concept of Redux. Let me change it to a class based component. React dot component, then constructor props super props this dot state equal to YT. This is the local state. YT search state, which is empty array. Then let's wait a sec. Let me put everything in a render, because in class based component which we have this return will be complete. Wait, I want this also inside. So let me copy paste it. One thing which I don't need now is this on click. We are going to implement it later on. So render is there. Let me convert it to a Redux class first. So export default connect, and it will have map state to props comma null. So the second one is for map dispatch to props. If you don't have anything, we pass as null. So map state to props. Now as you might have got, map state to props, it is to get the props which are nothing but the global state, global variable, and map dispatch to prop how to dispatch it. We are getting this, and will get the props as YT reducer from here. So let me take it, and what we're doing, we're just, I don't want this, we are destructuring it as YT reducer. Then I'm passing it in a prop YT search state. See, this is different than the state which we have the top. This is actually a prop YT reducer, and we will get this from here, YT search state from here, and we are mapping it to YT search state. So let us keep this, and in this we will have the concept of component, a lifecycle hook. Component will receive props. Now, as you might know, this component will receive props runs when something gets changes and a new props are being passed. So it will run for the first time also when the YT search is empty. Then when we get the data, it will run again because the props are changed. And the way we check the props are changed is by doing this dot props dot YT search state. This is the props dot YT search state is this, is not equal to because the first time it will be passed an empty array, not from here but from here. Next, props dot YT search state, and then this dot set state. What we're doing now, this local state YT search state, and it will be equal to, what is that? Yeah, it will be equal to this. And now all of this is there, so we just have to show this all, but we are going to have the video list concept also here, and that concept is we are going to get the whole array, we will loop through it and show it in the align. So let us do that. Let me make a return. Actually, this is this return only, but I'll show you what it is. And an unordered list. This unordered list will have a class name of call list group, and then we'll map through this dot state dot YT search, this dot state dot YT search. We're first checking whether the length is greater than 0. As I told earlier, first time it will get passed as an empty array. So if it is not an empty array, then we'll do and this dot state dot yt search dot map video and an arrow function, and like this. Let me bring it up, and mapping through the video. Let me get this. This is my image URL. I don't need this too. Now all of this code, we are looping through it, and then we are showing this image URL here, video.snippet, this video .snippet.title we will show. So let's check whether it is working, because if I have typed everything right, it should work. Failed to compile, provider. Oh, I got the error from here itself. There is no go. Where is my index? How can I do that? See, let me check if I had not given any other spelling mistakes. Yeah, I have not given any other spelling mistake, and it is working fine. So we are done with the first part. So see you soon in the second part.